Welcome back. As you may notice, I'm recording this on the same day, same shirt and everything. Third video I've done for you today, part one, part two of the lecture and resources, but I'm not going to sit here and babble too much. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. This week we were talking about world history, and I have resources that I think relate to world history, and I should add a little bit of geography. I almost said geometry, geography. I'm just going to go down the list. If you watched the lecture already, you probably already heard me list this organization. This is the Choices Program. And when I was talking about the world history approaches that you could do, one of them was, international and cross culture and things like that. Choices is a program that was started at Brown University, and they have various catalogs on modern issues. And actually, I was talking about that going back. They do a lot of that within these, and they look at issues within, I guess, through a modern context, but they try to lead up to why it is. And there's a lot of documents within the lessons. For example, as you can see, in a lot of unique type topics, and I shouldn't say unique, but topics sometimes that maybe we don't handle as social studies teachers in the classroom. And as you can see, here's how they're organized. This is one on Brazil, a history of change. And they have these questions. This is something you'll see in your unit plans and that I'm asking on your checklist. What's your big questions? You all have done these on Flipgrid. They have lessons that within this. I am not going to lie, these are not cheap usually. A lot of times counties will pay for them or counties will have them. You can preview units in here, as you saw there. There's some of the documents. You can analyze songs for students. They're pretty neat. I don't know if it lets me look at it right. Oh, there we go. Yes. And as if you look here, you can see that it has a breakdown to everything. Slowly, we're definitely getting a table of contents. Oh, there you go. They're lesson plans. That's plain and simple, and materials. And there are tons of them on here. I just clicked on Brazil to click on Brazil. But there's charts, there's graphs. We talked a little bit about how you're going to gather information. There's T-charts, there's Venn diagrams and such. And if you look, there are world history, geography, current issues, complete series. Since we're doing world history, let's look at world history. And that's what I was looking at earlier, obviously. But as you can see, tons of them. I actually have one of these for U.S. history. I found one on Amazon one time used. I got on the War of 1812 very cheap, if anyone ever wants to look at it. But you can usually download some samples for each one. And I thought, let me go back. I'll look. I feel like I have one electronic version I may send out to you. I feel like there was a sample I had, and I probably should have looked before I started. I'll look before the end. But Choices, I would check it out. It's pretty neat. It's inquiry based. You can actually do professional developments at Brown University through this, and they teach you how to actually implement this in the classroom. But it's more of a political back and forth, deep dive document, current events. And as you saw, they kind of do some unique topics. That's one. National Geographic, I put on here because it's National Geographic. They have lesson plans. They have articles. They have images. They have an awesome museum in DC that brings in a lot of cool stuff. I saw the Terracotta Warriors there once with a class. You can find maps, articles, activities. They have a database here. Oh, since we're going to do 10th. And let's see what we got. And as you look here, they have different activities that you can look up in lesson plans. It's a database. And some are more sciencey than others, but I would definitely say Black Death might be something, world history. So let's just click it. And there you go. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can look on there for lesson plans and check out. Of course, if you really want to do the super deep dive on National Geographic, there are tons of charts, maps, and such. I used to get them by the magazines. This is how long ago, in the early 90s, and actually laminate. We used to be able to go down to, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Berkeley County, the Raymer Center used to have a laminator. I don't know if they still do. And you could laminate the maps. And I used to use those in the classroom. They're actually some of the best maps I have. So National Geographic, great resource if you want to fish around for some things and find such. Also, they have something called National Geographic Educator. I did that a few years ago. I haven't been on their website for a while, but sometimes they supply lessons through that too. DBQs, I put a couple on here. I can't really log in because Shepherd hasn't paid fees for this. We're not part of it. Whoops, that's the AP. Whoops, I'll come back to that. The DBQ project, these are places that actually have lessons that are developed strictly around DBQs, which is a big thing, especially with, standardized testing and such. So they're like mini ones. Let's see if we can look at one. There you go. And you can see there's print materials. Again, I don't know if you would get, I just want to share it with you mostly because I wanted you to see if you could get a hold of this, or if your county has it, it might be something pretty cool that you might want to check out, or once you get rooted to check out. Also, and I have emailed this organization, DBQ Online. Actually, whoops, let me go back and see if I can find it. There it is. That's DBQ Online, which is the same link. I don't know why I put it on there twice. DBQ Online is actually something that I do know some counties have. I'm not the big folders, which I just showed you, but the DBQ Online, same organization. Washington County, I thought, did this. I went and did an observation where there was logins and such. So this might be something you might want to check out. You see, let's just hit the play button. And you can check it out. But
it's hard to believe, but it's only been a couple of years since we've launched DBQ Online. And already, on any given school day, thousands of students all around the country are engaging with our interactive platform.
For us, it's been a thrill to see how easily teachers and their students have taken to online learning. We've really appreciated their feedback, and we've made several improvements based on their classroom needs.
The feedback we're getting from teachers is driving the changes we're making. For example, our first year we came out, teachers really wanted to be able to see student work in progress and to provide feedback, so we built in a feedback tool. This year, we've been moving more towards instructional supports where a teacher can mark up the text before they hand out or push the assignment to the student.
I'm not going to play that whole thing. I just wanted to give you a quick overview, but as it says there, that's what I saw is you can actually see the students working. They submit it online. They're DBQs that are just on the site. Students have logins and such. Again, I would love for us to be able to play around with this a little bit, but those document-based question type project activities, Shepherd they're not going to pay the money. Washington County, I'm 100% sure has this. Jefferson County, I think, has it also. But so it might be something you might want to check the video out. I know this is a resource that if you blogged on, you might not be able to really say much on because you can't see it. I just want you to be aware of it. And one thing I want you to really think about is what the world history lessons this week and such, think about images and document-based things that you can have your students look at. That is definitely the way that planning and social studies instruction seems to be kind of favoring at the time, which makes total sense. There we go. I just wanted to throw this up too. Some of you may end up being AP teachers. AP, I'm sure you know, is advanced placement. But if you ever need to see sample questions, sample responses and such, there are places on the AP site that you can. I'm thinking about this more as you start to begin teaching AP. I don't know, a lot of times when you're a first year teacher, AP classes are kind of sucked up by the more veteran teachers, but I have a feeling a lot of you may end up teaching AP before it's all said and done. So, if you ever need it, there are some AP questions. This is the world history one, but there's the commentary, rubrics, how they score, if you ever need to break that down and look at it. If some of you were AP students, you probably may already know a lot of this, but then there's, the statistics and sample questions and all. Now, I know those initial ones are probably not really resources per se that you can use in the classroom without forking out some money. These next two you could actually technically use. One might cost you $1, but I think we can, hopefully you can swing that. This is Rick Steves in the Classroom and actually dataworldatlas.com, or as I labeled it, maps. This is actually like interactive maps, and it does say there that you can, do free samples and all, but if you look, if you just need them for a week, you can actually just pay for a week. And let me show you what they look like. There's some samples. As you can see, these are things that you can pull up in your classroom. I can actually get it to roll down. And if you zoom in, you should be able to zoom in and you can break down the maps a little more in detail. And I thought there was a nice one. Oh, there it is, on world religion. That's a nice one too. You can pull up, there's a whole variety of them. But you can have students look at pie charts and things and break down different religions. They're not just on these topics. There's a lot of them. There's strange maps, like it says there, but you might want to check this out and look around a little bit. Free samples are always good. Voter turnout. Let's click on that one and see what's going on there. Oh, there you go. And you can see, break it down by populations and states. Might be something you could use in the classroom. I just actually got this in a magazine. It was actually in National Council of the Social Studies magazine I got earlier this week, and on the back. So I thought I'd check it out. And this is something I have to admit I've never used, but actually I was kind of fiddling around with it and it seemed pretty neat. So as you can see, oh, there you go. You can fiddle around with this tool a little bit. This might be one, if you think about using, you might want to practice with, obviously, first, because it has a lot of gadgets and all. You might even have students log in and kind of do like different types of questions related to the information. And last but not least is Rick Steves in the Classroom. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Rick Steves. He has a show on PBS. He is actually someone who does a lot of travel shows. Actually, that's all he does is travel shows. He's most commonly in Europe, but not always. He's done some in Iran and Israel and things like that. Well, he has, the show's been on for 20 years, and I actually used to show them in my classroom or clips because they're pretty safe movies and clips to show. But if you look here, he actually has, and actually he's done some on South America too. He has tons of videos that you can do clips, and clips are fantastic in the classroom. Let's look at Middle Ages. As you can see, there's a whole bunch, and most of them, doesn't look like one of them's over 6 minutes long. So, if you wanted to do something on, let's pick one. Let's do, I'm torn here. Let's see. Let's look at that one. And you just click, and they're all free.
If the cathedral seems big for its town, that's because it was huge on the pilgrimage trail. People came from all over to see its precious relic, the veil or gown it's believed Mary wore when she gave birth to Jesus. In fact, when the earlier cathedral burned down, that veil was found miraculously preserved. Conveniently, this was great for fundraising, as Christians from far and wide gave generously so Chartres could rebuild its cathedral grander than ever. The nave is vast, over 400 feet long, and the widest in France. And the Gothic structure.
There's tons of these on there, as you can see, and you can fish around. But there's just some resources. By the way, he's an interesting guy. If you wouldn't know it by looking at him, but he actually does. He has awesome language stuff on his YouTube channel. Actually, he's a big proponent of legalizing marijuana. I follow him on Twitter and Facebook. So he's very much into the European style and bringing what he likes over there here. I don't think it's on here, but the Amsterdam special is kind of interesting. I would maybe check that one out if he's got a video on there. But other than that, before I would show it in classroom anyway. But other than that, those are just a few. I will be the first to admit, I know that these resources this week are a little more as far as being able to use them, because some of them cost money. The only one on here that is technically free is Rick Steves. If you don't think any of these would be something, I'm sorry, National Geographic was free. If you can't think of anything that you would actually use as far as world history on any of these lists, I mean, you're welcome to blog what's something you would do for world history instruction and put in there. I'm going to double check my resources since I'm here. I thought I went through them, but I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. PowerPoint Palooza I've already shown you. let's look at the bottom. Sometimes there's always stuff I forget. Choices, Gardner, Weebly. I want to national. We're going to do some specials. You know, I'm going to throw this up here really super quick. Oh, let's see what world history information is. Oh, that's World History Connect. That's an organization. You're welcome to check that out. Another one, if you want to go ahead and blog on that too, even though he's not really world history, he's obviously U.S. history, but much like Rick Steves, who's on PBS, Kim Burns also is on PBS, and he has a whole site of clip shows similar to that, as you can see. His are actually more, I think, geared towards U.S. history, as you can see. But if that's something you think you would use in your classroom, you can blog on that too. I mean, this assignment's more about just trying to give you tools in the classroom. But as we look, oh, let's hit that one. And as you see, he's got a Lewis and Clark one that's on there. And let's check that out. And do you have to pay? Oh, you can share to Google Classroom. Ooh, that's very fancy. And there's some activities and there's some clips. So there you go. So you can check all this out, and there's some other stuff right there that you might like. So this week, just blog on any of these that you think you might like to explore more or you think you might use. Again, you got a lot to do this week, so I'm not the blogs. Just kind of check them out and just go and see if you think you'd use anything or not. Just kind of give me a quick thumbs up, thumbs down. None of it offends me one way or the other. It's your classroom, so you got to decide what works for you. And with that, I think that is all of our videos for the week. See everyone on Thursday. Wednesday's another class. So I will talk to you later. Hope you have a good weekend.